Hello, loves. Hello, how you doing? How you doing? We're going nice face. I wanted to talk to you about something. I had a beautiful session with someone, and what I love about having sessions with people, it always makes me come up what to talk about with y'all. So, um, so with that being said, I wanted to talk to you about inner child and what I found. It may not be true for you, but this is what I found. So, as I was doing inner child work, I noticed that my inner child didn't know anything that I've been through. And I said, this is interesting. Why not? And I realized that for a number of people, our inner child, our inner innocence is still intact. Our essence is still intact. See, for some folks, where we think that they harmed our inner child, they didn't. They harmed and they gave trauma to the conscious mind. But that doesn't necessarily mean they gave trauma to the inner child. And so I realized my inner child didn't know anything about my trauma. Not one thing. And I was like, what? Right? Then I realized I have to teach her. That means as things come up, what that don't need to touch her won't touch her because they come to this consciousness, right? But things I need to teach her, I get to teach her. Well, think about Jesus in life, right? Jesus was born into poverty. He wasn't rich. And I have heard some people, including celebrities, say, well, God would never give something or a gift to somebody that didn't have any money. What the fuck does money have to do with spirituality? That's not the currency of the cosmos. That may be the currency of aliens. That is not the currency of the cosmos. The currency of the cosmos is power. And love is the most powerful. That's the currency. That's the real currency, energy. So I was thinking, and I was like, look at how my father was treated as opposed to how everyone else was treated. Same thing. Born into poverty, born around animals and filth. Look at how people that live in poverty are, just like how Jesus came into this world. Duh. So I was sitting up and I was thinking about that. And I remember someone I dated wanting access to my innocence and wanting access to my essence. And I didn't know at the time what the fuck he was talking about. Then in hindsight, I'm sitting back and I'm looking. And then how they sent in an idiot to try to get it from me because they thought I was a lamb. No, I'm not a lamb. Sorry. So that was your mistake. Think of that. Anyway, so I was thinking and I was like, they didn't get my jewel. He didn't get my jewel. How do I know? I'm still here. For the ones who really did, they really did get their jewel. Those are the ones that are no longer here. Unfortunately. Peace and love to them in their spirit, in their soul. But we're still here. And so with that knowing, we won't let any motherfucker come up against our little. Are you kidding me? So I was thinking about that. And I was like, that's just like us leading the Christ child and teaching the Christ child. And then I thought about it. I said, that's exactly what the fuck it is. We walk through our path and what we go through to teach our inner child what to avoid and what to look for. And that is equivalent to teaching the Christ child and you showing spirit, God, what you've been through, what you have learned, what you have walked through. And you're teaching spirit what you've learned to prove what you've learned, but you don't know that's who the child is. Your divine connection to love is that child, that innocence, that childlike innocence that my father talked about. And I was sitting up here and I was thinking, and I'm like, it's funny. They talk about how my father was for religion. How the fuck was he for religion when he went against those in religion at the time because they were liars? Like, misconstruing everything like we're blind. And I'm like, you wanted us to willingly give our innocence so you could abuse it. That's what's happening with the trafficking. And that is what's happening with the children. They break them and sell the essence. But our generation of the chosen star seeds and stuff like that, they were able to get some. They weren't able to get the big ones that they wanted. Because our will was too strong, even though it looked like it wasn't. And then they mad and they want it, but they've done too much. So hell no, we wouldn't give it to them. Not for nothing would we give it to them. But what I find interesting is that even though they're stealing all this energy from these younger ones and misconstruing these other ones, they're still interested in the Gen Y and the Gen Z energy in particular. Something about that patch. Huh. Yeah, I know. So, my loves, those of you who have your inner child and inner innocence still intact, love it, guide it, and listen to it as you need to. To get to the love of yourself, the answer lies in your inner child, in that inner innocence, in that contract between you two. That understanding you will teach it. It in turn will love you in the purest way it can, because that's where your pure love lies. And that is what they tried to destroy. And they thought they did with a lot of us, and they didn't. We know full well what love feels like, real love feels like, and what it is. And that inner child has to willingly love you and another in the purest form. And that is what that twin flame and that soulmate was for. But that twin flame and that twin soul was for this part. For that child to find their child. Kind of like in Dragon Ball Z and them two little imps that fucked up the universe because they wanted to see some... Don't get me started. It's like that. It's like that. Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. It's your inner child finding another and loving honestly. And loving without boundaries. That's what you and your twin do. And that love transforms things without having to do a thing. That is what they try to stop you from doing. And that love can do anything. Anything. Imaginable and unimaginable, seen and unseen. And that is what they're afraid of. And that she has found. And that she's not separate from it. And that love with open arms welcomed her home. They didn't stop a thing. What they did was made their greatest enemy. They made the very thing that's going to destroy them. And it serves them the fuck right. All right, my loves. I love you. Peace and dwellings to you. Namaste.